It is associated with weight loss and its ability to boost your metabolism. So superfoods are specific types of foods that have a really high nutrient density with extremely low calories. So if you have been trying to incorporate more superfoods into your daily lifestyle, maybe you want more energy, maybe you want to have more nutrients in your day-to-day meals. In today's video, we're going to go over 10 types of superfoods and how you could incorporate them into your day-to-day. The first one is fermented foods. I figured I would start off with the one that I think took me the hardest to implement, and I don't think it really took me the hardest, but it was like one of the last ones to implement. If you're not familiar with fermented foods are probiotics that are packed with good bacteria and boost gut health and immunity and digestion. So fermented foods are things like sauerkraut, yogurt, kombucha, tempeh, and kimchi. So one thing to do is look at the list of the types of fermented foods and pick out one or two that you know you could easily incorporate and have on a day-to-day or even just like a couple of days a week basis. Second one is chia seeds. I actually never knew about chia seeds before I went plant-based, and chia seeds are really good because they're high in omega-3s. And a couple of ways that you can add chia seeds into your day-to-day is if you have oatmeal, one thing you could do is add it to your oatmeal, or you could add it to some type of breakfast bars that you make, or another thing is to add it to any types of smoothies. When it comes to chia seeds, it's really adaptable in different ways you could add it. So really decide what kind of breakfast foods you enjoy and which ingredients you could easily add chia seeds to it. Another superfood is blueberries. So blueberries is one type of food that is really good for brain health. And when it comes to blueberries, a couple of ways you could also add this is when it comes to yogurt, have it in some of your yogurt. If you have oatmeal, again, add it to your oatmeal. But another way that I mainly tend to have blueberries is adding it to smoothies. Next one up is avocados. So when it comes to avocados, I really one day hope to have it only during the time that it's in season. But because I just became a little too addicted to avocados and like to have it in damn near every meal, the likelihood of that happening is kind of like close to zero. I really enjoy avocado because it's also a really good healthy fat. So there's plenty of different ways you could always add avocado. You can add them to salads, sandwiches, on just regular toast, and a smoothie. There's just so many different ways of having avocados added to your daily lifestyle. So another thing to do is add avocados because it is considered a superfood and it's a healthy fat. Next one up is nuts. So I know this is not what everyone could do because I feel like there's like so many people allergic to nuts now. But if you're one of the lucky ones that's not allergic to nuts, another superfood that you could incorporate into your day-to-day lifestyle is cashews and pecans. When it comes to nuts, they're packed with protein, fiber, and minerals, and they're also nutrient dense. So when it comes to cashews, I use cashews a lot in different types of ways. A couple of ways I usually have my cashews is I'll just eat them straight as it is. Another way that I tend to use my cashews is if I make my own granola or if I end up making a type of sauce or Parmesan cheese. When it comes to adding nuts to your day-to-day, really be creative of how you could transform them into something else. Before I went predominantly plant-based, I just saw the food as it is and only made it as is. And when I switched to a predominantly plant-based lifestyle, I started to see like how you could turn one simple ingredient into so many different things that I never even thought about. So if you're someone who's not allergic to nuts, one thing that you could also do is if you have a salad, add some pecans to it. If you are more into just trying new foods, really think about the different ways that you could make new types of ingredients using cashews or just using a specific type of nuts of your choice. Another way is also just buying nut butter. So if you like almonds, buy almond butter. They tend to be a little pricier, but if you like almonds, you could always have almond butter, have it on some bread, have some bananas on it, and bam, you have the nuts that way. Or if you prefer peanut butter, then you could do the same thing and have a banana peanut butter toast toast. Next one up is leafy greens. Of course, leafy greens would be a superfood. It offers a lot of vitamins, minerals, fiber, iron, magnesium, potassium, and calcium. So one thing to do, I know it's like usually making a salad of having leafy greens, but I do have other ways where you could make it enjoyable. One thing that I do pretty often is if I want to have some greens, because I know it's been a while since I've had greens and I feel my body just needing to have some type of leafy greens, but I don't want a salad per se, what I'll do is make a bowl. And when I do make the bowl, I'll either have it with some rice or I'll have it with some noodles. When I do that, it's much more enjoyable because it doesn't feel like I'm eating a salad, but I know that I'm still getting the nutrients that I need from the greens itself. And then I'm adding all these other different things to it to make this one cohesive bowl that tastes good, it's enjoyable, but then also nutrient rich. Next superfood is green tea. Some claims that are associated with green tea is that it is associated with weight loss and its ability to boost your metabolism. So to be honest, it's hard for me to know if green tea has done that for me. To me, it definitely just offers more calming properties. I just feel better when I drink green tea. Like, I'm very selective of the tea that I drink. It's usually either green or chai tea that I drink, but I do feel like it has some type of nutritional benefits. For me, it's just hard to really know if it came from green tea just because there's so many other things that I'm eating. So it's hard to really know that if I'm like feeling the effects of green tea, but I do know when I drink it, I feel good and I quite like it. So the best way of adding that is to either have it for your morning breakfast if you're a tea person. If you're a coffee person, maybe have a decaffeinated green tea at night or have a decaffeinated green tea throughout your day. The next one is for all of my protein lovers out there. If you're someone who is very keen and very like strict on making sure you get enough protein, one superfood that's considered very high in protein is quinoa. A really good thing about quinoa is that, number one, like switching from quinoa to rice, there is a taste difference, but when it comes to cooking it, it's pretty much the same way. So there really is no like adaptability change needed there. But another thing to do when it comes to quinoa, when you cook quinoa, is a suggestion of mine is to cook it in either vegetable broth or stock as opposed to water, because I feel like it gives you a little bit more flavor when it comes to the quinoa being cooked in a vegetable stock as opposed to being cooked in water. Having quinoa is a really good alternative if you want to switch or reduce the amount of rice that you're having, especially because not only are you still getting a really high superfood and replacing your rice with a high superfood, you're also still having like those grains and it's not feeling like you're completely removing rice completely. It does taste different, but you're still being able to get that fullness as if you was to eat rice to switching to quinoa. The next superfood is broccoli, which is really high in vitamin C and antioxidants. When it comes to broccoli, one thing that I like to do when it comes to food shopping specifically is if I'm buying broccoli, I won't buy cauliflower, and if I buy cauliflower, I won't buy broccoli. I feel like when I buy both, it's like one always ends up losing the game of actually eating it. So if you're someone who tends to like broccoli and cauliflower and you want to increase your superfoods, one thing to do is only buy one at a time. So the main way I tend to incorporate broccoli into my day-to-day lifestyle is I'll just have them a part of my bowls, or if I have leftover broccoli the next day, then I'll just have it as a snack and something to like snack on rather than eating a whole meal, or I like to add it to any type of stir-fry dish that I make. So when it comes to broccoli, really think about the ways that you would want to incorporate broccoli as a superfood, because there's definitely different ways of doing it. Again, I like doing stir-fries and adding them to my bowls. I just find that those two are the easiest way of just adding it to my daily meals. And the last one is garlic. Honestly, garlic is probably one of the easiest I think anyone could incorporate, except if you don't like garlic. But then if you don't like garlic, I don't know what to tell you. And when it comes to garlic, a couple of things is that it lowers blood pressure, reduces cholesterol, and protects against some cancers. So for the most part, if you just want to be more proactive in your health and may not necessarily be having any of these that are an issue for you, but you definitely want to be more preventative in the future, a good thing to do is just add garlic to anything you eat. Yeah. So those are 10 superfoods and how you can incorporate them into your day-to-day lifestyle. Definitely let me know if you guys enjoyed this video and if you found it helpful, and which superfoods are you planning on adding to your day-to-day lifestyle. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you guys in the next video.